Dating is trash right now because the men are not doing well financially. And this is being reported on, yes, but I'm also speaking from like in the field. In the last 2 years, majority of the guys that I've met on dating apps have all been unhappy in their career to some varying degree. I would say like the finance guys all have expressed wanting to be making more money. And the blue collar and blue collar adjacent guys have all sort of expressed feeling like they've hit some like max capacity in the amount of money that they can make in their industry or their field, and then wanting to do like a career pivot to correct for that.
She's saying that men have bigger priorities in their life than dating women who feel entitled to their money. Men are changing their focus towards self-improvement rather than getting with women who were never all that interested in them in the first place.
But then also suggesting like, well, let me go get a master's, and then incurring student loan debt on top of an already large amount of student loan debt, which personally I think is not a good idea. And then I just see it becoming this like vicious cycle. So like men are raised to believe that like they need to be the provider. And so if they're not where they want to be in their career, they're not where they want to be financially, then they don't feel that they can be providing. So they can't actually commit and settle down in a relationship, but they're still out there dating because they want the physical intimacy.
The fact that people want to make more money is not a dating problem, it's an economic one. Men aren't focusing their efforts to make more money to try and impress women. That's just a stupid goal because there's no impressing modern women. They always want more anyway.
Whereas women, like, we're in the dating field looking for a relationship, and most women are making as much, if not more, than their male counterparts today. So we're out there actively looking, but then, you know, the men aren't actually available for a relationship because they're not where they want to be in their career or financially. And so then the women experience rejection, and the more rejection we experience, the less we want to be actively in the dating pool. And so we take ourselves out. And how are we ever going to like get together and procreate if like we are tapping out? And it's easy for women to tap out. I think a lot of us like find celibacy very peaceful. And so we bounce.
That's just an outright lie. I've seen a lot of videos talking about modern women choosing celibacy. Let's be real, none of these women are celibate, no matter how entitled they are, guys. Women love to peddle this lie that they're just, you know, pure and they don't get with men. They still do.
But then like I'm out here and it's like the more I feel rejection and the more I get discouraged, and I'm like, okay, like I'm really not meeting anybody who's on my level, or I'm not meeting somebody who's like a good match for me. The more I get into the mindset of like, well, I'm a single person with a single income household. Like I need to do whatever I can to like set myself up financially to live in this world as a single person. And so then I work really hard on having my finances in order. And the more that I've got my finances in order and I've got my shit together, the harder it gets for me to find somebody who's on my level. Because now I'm just like continuing to outpace the guys that are in my age range.
That's exactly why she's single. She put all of her energy into getting that career to make a bunch of money, and she won't settle for anyone who's not making more money than her. And those men are few and far between. The ones who are out there aren't interested in her at all.
And so it's becoming this like impossible loop that I don't know how to get out of, because I'm also not really willing to like lower my standards or accept like disrespect or just like weird behavior. Like I don't have time for that, nor do I care to like entertain that. So I don't know what the answer is. I'm not saying it's like the guy's fault that they're not making the amount of money that they want to be making, or that like the amount of money that one would feel is enough to feel comfortable getting into a relationship and like being able to be a provider. Although
it's modern women who demanded that men be providers, even though they've done literally everything they could to constantly remind men that no matter what they provide, it will still never be good enough to meet their unnecessary and impossible standards.
I think most people, doesn't matter your gender, like most people are willing to argue at this point that like you don't need to be the complete breadwinner or provider or whatever, like it's a little bit more 50-50. But regardless, if that's how they feel, then that's how they feel. And that's what I'm seeing. I'm not just saying it because I'm like theorizing, like this is what I am seeing in the guys that I'm meeting. And this is primarily on dating apps, but this is what's happening. And I don't know how we get out of it.
I love how she's conveniently glossing over the fact that modern women feel insulted over the idea of going 50-50 on anything. The mere idea of having to share any resources with a man is enough for them to get angry because they're the ones who believe that men have to provide for them. Men have made it clear that dating doesn't interest us, and modern women refuse to read the memo. Don't forget to like and subscribe on your way in, and let's get into it.
One of my favorite arguments that some men have is, I'm a good man and no one appreciates me, so I'm just going to become a passport bro. Or, I'm giving up on dating and I'm just going to pay a schmags worker instead and have zero aggravation. No, you're not. You're not a good man. You're a transactional man. You expect that if you're good or nice or jump through all of these hoops, you will get something in return. And if you are that kind of a man, then you are. Just own it.
You have to appreciate the irony of a modern woman accusing men of being quote unquote transactional when the whole foundation for dating with modern women is purely based on transactions. Most of these women won't even take a guy seriously, at least for the long term, unless he's willing to drop $200 on dinner.
But the mark of a true good man or woman, a good person, is will you be kind? Will you be good to another when that person is not being good or kind to you? Tossing your hands in the air and having a tantrum saying you're going to take your toys and go to a different playground does not make you a good playmate. It just makes you manipulative, and it exposes you as someone who only behaves well when it's for their own gain.
So in other words, a good man should be willing to tolerate abuse from another woman in a relationship. That's not the sign of a good man. That's the sign of a bitter woman who has absolutely no respect for the men in her life.
I posted a video last week about going on a first date, and the amount of comments from men basically saying they didn't even feel like it was worth it anymore to go on first dates because they're scared of being feeling creepy, they're scared of SA allegations. They don't really feel like women even like them, or most women just want, 6'3" millionaires, the top 1% of men. They feel like a lot of women just use them for a free meal or dinner or experience. And that genuinely made me so sad that most men would rather just stay inside and not even deal with it because it's not worth it to them anymore.
The reason why men feel that way is because modern women went out of their way to constantly remind average men that their only use to them was free meals and to be used as fodder for their humiliation rituals. This should be a shock to absolutely nobody.
It just made me think, us as women, maybe we need to take a step back and be okay, what's going on? Because the fact that men would rather stay in than go out on dates with us, it made me so sad.
She has absolutely no interest in trying to understand the problem when it comes to dating. The fact that she keeps shaking her chest just shows she's trying to cash in on more simps to purchase her content. Nobody's buying it because it's all a lie.
So I've posted a couple videos recently talking about modern women and what their standards are and what modern women are looking for. And I've gotten a lot of comments from men saying that they are not looking for a modern woman. They want a traditional woman, and that there aren't enough of them out there. So that had me thinking, well, what is the difference between a modern woman and a traditional woman?
If you have to wonder about the biggest differences between modern and traditional women, then there's no hope in figuring it out. The differences are fairly obvious. Men don't want insufferable career women who are entitled and treat men like trash. It's really quite simple.
I wrote some notes here to distinguish the difference. A modern woman is someone who's independent. She has a full-time career. She prioritizes career and education over family and children. She is strong and wants to be taken seriously. And you'll probably hear her say things like, I don't need no man to support me, and never depend on a man. A traditional woman is someone who focuses on family and children. She cooks and she cleans. She knows how to take care of her man mentally, emotionally, and physically. She's graceful and nurturing, and I'm gonna say it, submissive.
He left out the fact that traditional women also tend to be more respectful of men and actually have the capacity to be kind and peaceful, which are things that modern women are incapable of doing, it seems. It's pretty important that a man's woman is actually nice to him.
So, for all the modern women out there, I hear all the time that they want a traditional man, but it's sounding to me like traditional men don't actually want modern women. And I can't tell you how many times I hear women say they don't cook, they don't clean, but yet they want a man to pay all their bills. So I'm just curious, women, do you consider yourself modern or traditional? And what kind of man are you actually looking for? And for men, what are the qualities that you're looking for in a woman if it's not a modern woman?
Modern women love to say that they are traditional because they want a man to approach them, pay for everything, and treat her like a princess. But these same traditional women also dress promiscuously, cover their bodies in tattoos, love to swear 3 times every sentence, and of course have been with a truckload of men.
I'm officially done with dating. I am done with dating. I have tried. I put my heart on the line, and people just continue to play with it. So you know what I told myself? I am not focusing on crashing out anymore over crusty men. I am just going to be focusing on getting hot and growing my businesses. So, yeah, if you're trying to take me on a date, I don't know what's going to happen because I am locked into me now because you crusty men, I tell you what, you know how to love bomb, you know how to hoodwink, and maybe I am just an idiot.
At least she admits that she's not the brightest. We all know that the first step to self-improvement is to admit that you have a problem, but she will never grow from that because all she wants to do is blame men for all of her shortcomings.
But I just love love and I want love so bad, but I don't think it's happening. 2025 dating, the new era of dating is just not for me. It's not for me. And honestly, I'd rather be alone than be cheated on, be love bombed, be gaslit, and told I'm stupid. So bye-bye dating. Hello. Just focusing on me and being hot and growing my businesses. And honestly, I'm just venting here, but if I just end up with dog children, I guess that's it for me. So bye, guys.
The funny thing is how these women are obsessed with themselves. Every single thing they do is for their own satisfaction. That's all they care about. That's why nobody cares when she says she's going to focus on her businesses. It doesn't affect us in the slightest. But anyway, guys, we are going to be leaving today's episode there. Don't forget to subscribe on your way out. Click this video that's up on the screen now if you want to see more. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.